On a busy morning at the office, while organizing my notes about the day's patients, I reflected on how my 15 years of experience as a urologist and andrologist had prepared me to address one of the most important and, unfortunately still, taboo topics in our society: sexuality in old age. The office, located in a quiet neighborhood in Chicago, had become a welcoming space for many elderly individuals seeking guidance on their intimate health. Margaret, a 68-year-old woman, was my first patient of the day. She entered the office with hesitant steps, but her gaze conveyed determination. As I always do with all my patients, especially the older ones, I offered her a glass of water and sought to create a welcoming environment for our conversation. "Doctor, I came here because I need to talk about something that even my closest friends don't know about," she began, adjusting herself in the chair. "Ever since my husband fell ill 3 years ago, our intimate life has completely changed. I miss, from intimacy." That moment perfectly exemplified why I chose to specialize in sexual medicine. Sexuality in older age is still treated as something non-existent or inappropriate, when in fact, it is a fundamental part of health and well-being at any age. I gently explained this to Margaret, noticing how her shoulders relaxed as she realized she was in a safe environment to discuss her concerns. "What many people don't know, Margaret, is that sexuality has no age limit, and there are numerous scientific studies that prove the benefits of sexual activity, including self-stimulation, for the physical and mental health of older adults," I explained, picking up some anatomical illustrations I keep in the office to aid in explanations. During our conversation, I realized it was necessary to debunk several misconceptions Margaret had about sexuality in older age. As a doctor, I always strive to base my explanations on scientific evidence, but in a way that is understandable and comforting for my patients. Masturbation, or self-stimulation as I prefer to call it, is a natural and healthy practice, I explained. It helps maintain proper blood circulation in the genital area, contributes to the production of hormones, important for well-being, reduces stress, and can even improve sleep quality. I saw Margaret's eyes widen at this information. Like many people of her generation, she carried a burden of guilt and shame regarding this topic. I continued explaining that the World Health Organization recognizes sexual health as a fundamental part of an individual's overall health, regardless of age. "But doctor, isn't it a sin?" she asked quietly. This is a common concern among my elderly patients, especially those with a more traditional religious background. With respect and sensitivity, I explained that many modern religious leaders and mental health professionals recognize the importance of healthy sexuality for a person's overall well-being. What we need to understand is that our bodies do not stop needing affection and pleasure just because we age, I continued. In fact, maintaining an active sex life, whether with a partner or through self-stimulation, can bring various health benefits. Throughout the consultation, we addressed various aspects of sexual health in later life. I explained the natural changes that occur in the body with aging, and how these changes do not mean the end of sexual life, but rather an adaptation to a new phase. "Margaret, I'll give you some recommended readings and specific exercises for your age," I said while making notes. "These are safe and healthy practices that can help keep your intimate health in check." Before ending the consultation, I noticed that Margaret was more relaxed and even managed a smile. "You know, doctor, I never imagined I could have such an open conversation about this topic. I always thought I was alone with these doubts. This is exactly the kind of transformation I aim to promote in my practice. With every patient who leaves, more informed and free of prejudice, I feel we are making progress in building a healthier and more respectful society toward sexuality at every stage of life." The week after Margaret's appointment, I organized a workshop on sexual health in later life at the local community center. As a doctor, I've always believed that health education should go beyond the walls of the office. The auditorium was surprisingly full, showing that, despite the taboos, there is a real need for information on this topic. "Good morning, everyone," I began, adjusting the microphone. Today we are going to talk about a subject that science has proven to be essential for our health, but which is rarely discussed openly: the benefits of self-stimulation in old age. I projected some carefully prepared slides showing recent scientific studies on the topic. When we talk about self-stimulation, we are talking about health, I explained. Research conducted at renowned medical centers shows that this practice has significant benefits for the cardiovascular system. A gentleman in the front row timidly raised his hand. Doctor, but websites on the internet say this can cause health problems. It was the perfect moment to address one of the main issues we face today: online misinformation. Excellent question, I replied. It is important to distinguish between evidence-based information and myths circulating on the internet. I will share with you data from studies conducted by respected institutions. I then presented a series of scientifically proven benefits. Regular self-stimulation helps maintain the muscle tone of the pelvic region, which is essential for preventing issues like urinary incontinence. Additionally, it promotes the release of endorphins, our natural well-being hormones. A woman at the back of the room asked about the relationship with sleep, something many elderly people struggle with. Studies show that the release of oxytocin and other neurotransmitters during self-stimulation contributes to more regulated and better quality sleep, I explained, showing graphs from recent research. But there's no need to resort to inappropriate content on the internet, I cautioned. There are healthy ways to maintain a connection with our sexuality. The practice of mindfulness, for example, can be a valuable tool for reconnecting with bodily sensations in a healthy and respectful way. During the workshop, we also discussed how self-stimulation can help prevent common issues in older age. For men, regular practice helps maintain prostate health and can prevent erectile dysfunction. For women, it aids in maintaining natural lubrication and prevents vaginal atrophy. One participant asked about the ideal frequency of these practices. There is no one-size-fits-all rule, I explained. Each person should find their own rhythm, respecting their desires and limits. The important thing is to maintain a regularity that promotes well-being. I then presented some breathing techniques and Kegel exercises that can be incorporated into daily routines. These exercises, when combined with self-stimulation, enhance the benefits for pelvic health, I demonstrated, using anatomical models for better understanding. Another important benefit is stress reduction, I continued. Studies show that regular self-stimulation helps reduce cortisol levels, the stress hormone, in the body. This is particularly important in older age, when we are more susceptible to the negative effects of stress. At the end of the workshop, I distributed booklets with scientific information and practical tips. Remember, understanding our bodies and caring for them with affection and respect has no age limit. Sexuality is an integral part of human health at every stage of life. I noticed that many participants left the workshop with a new perspective on the topic. An elderly lady came to thank me. Doctor, I never imagined we could discuss this subject so naturally and scientifically. This completely changed my view. This is the kind of transformation I seek to promote as a physician. The deconstruction of taboos through education and science, allowing people to live their sexuality fully and healthily, regardless of age. After the success of the workshop, I decided to further expand the reach of information about sexual health in later life. In partnership with a nutritionist specialized in gerontology, we organized a meeting focused on natural alternatives to improve intimate health. The chosen location was a cozy space in a senior community center with a garden and green area, creating an environment conducive to discussions about health and well-being. Nutrition plays a fundamental role in sexual health. I began the lecture, while my nutritionist colleague arranged a table with various natural foods. Today, we will learn about recipes and foods that can help maintain intimate health in a natural and healthy way. On the table, ingredients like beets, carrots, ginger, and various types of red fruit stood out. These foods are rich in nutrients that aid in blood circulation and the production of the body's natural hormones. explained the nutritionist, while I supplemented with information about the specific benefits for sexual health. Beets, for example, are rich in nitrate, which converts into nitric oxide in the body, improving blood circulation, I explained. Red fruits, on the other hand, are rich in antioxidants, which combat cellular aging and keep tissues healthy. A participant from a previous workshop, who had become a regular attendee of our lectures, raised her hand. "Doctor, what about exercises? Besides diet, what can we do to keep our health in check?" It was the perfect moment to introduce the practical part of the meeting. I invited a pelvic health specialist physical therapist to demonstrate specific exercises to strengthen the muscles in that area. Kegel exercises, when done correctly, are essential for intimate health, explained the physical therapist, using anatomical models to demonstrate the proper techniques. During the demonstration, we emphasized the importance of proper breathing and body awareness. Regular practice of these exercises, combined with a healthy diet, can bring significant benefits to sexual health, I explained, while we distributed brochures with detailed instructions on the exercises. But remember, I added, each person has their own pace and their own needs. It's important to respect your body's limits, and whenever possible, consult a healthcare professional for specific guidance. The nutritionist then presented some practical and healthy recipes, specially developed to promote sexual health. "Let's prepare a natural energizing juice," she demonstrated, combining beetroot, carrot, ginger, and orange. These ingredients, when combined, enhance their health benefits. During the preparation of the recipes, I took the opportunity to address another important aspect: hydration. Drinking an adequate amount of water is essential for overall and sexual health, I explained. Dehydration can affect natural lubrication and blood circulation. The participants were becoming increasingly interested and engaged, taking notes and sharing their own experiences. One lady shared how she had incorporated some of the exercises learned in the previous workshop into her daily routine and was already noticing positive differences. It's important to remember that sexual health is closely linked to the overall health of the body, I emphasized. When we take care of our diet, exercise, and maintain good hydration, we are contributing to our health as a whole. At the end of the meeting, we organized a tasting of the prepared recipes and distributed a comprehensive guide with information on nutrition, exercise, and healthy practices for seniors. The goal is for you to incorporate this knowledge into your daily lives naturally and enjoyably, I concluded. The participants' response was extremely positive. Many expressed how they felt more confident and informed to take care of their sexual health in a natural and healthy way. "It's wonderful to see how we can care for our intimate health using such accessible resources," commented one participant while savoring the freshly prepared juice. With the growing interest shown by participants from previous meetings, I decided to organize a series of sessions focused on mindfulness and body awareness. To do this, I invited a therapist specialized in mindfulness for seniors, creating a program that combined medical knowledge with mindfulness practices. The first meeting of this new series took place in a specially prepared room, with soft lighting and a welcoming atmosphere. Mindfulness, or full attention, is a powerful tool for reconnecting with our body, began the therapist, as I prepared to complement with medical explanations. When we practice mindfulness, we are cultivating a greater awareness of our bodily sensations, I explained. This is particularly important in old age, as it helps us recognize and respect the signals our body sends us. During the session, we introduced simple breathing and body awareness exercises. "Notice how each breath brings a new sensation," guided the therapist. This practice helps reduce anxiety and improves our connection with the body. One of the participants, a 72-year-old man, shared his experience. "I've always had trouble relaxing, but these exercises are helping me feel more present in the moment." This was exactly the kind of result we hope to achieve. Mindfulness is not just about relaxation, I explained, but about developing a healthier and more conscious relationship with our body. This includes our sexuality, which is often neglected in later years. We then introduced specific body scan exercises, a technique that helps develop greater awareness of physical sensations. Notice each part of the body without judgment, the therapist guided. This practice helps identify tensions and promotes a deeper understanding of our physical needs. During the sessions, we also discussed how mindfulness can help address common concerns in later years. Many people worry about natural changes in the body, I commented. The practice of mindfulness helps us accept these changes with more serenity. One participant asked about how to incorporate these practices into daily routines. Mindfulness can be practiced at different times throughout the day, the therapist replied. From the moment we wake up until bedtime, we can bring more awareness to our activities. And when we talk about self-stimulation, I added, mindfulness can make the experience more meaningful and healthy. It's a way to reconnect with your own body in a respectful and conscious manner. Throughout the session, we practiced different breathing techniques and guided meditation. These practices help reduce stress and anxiety, I explained, which is essential for a healthy sex life at any age. The therapist then introduced specific exercises to promote greater awareness of the pelvic region. Many people carry tension in this area without realizing it, she explained. Mindfulness can help identify and release these tensions. From a medical standpoint, I added, reducing tension in the pelvic region can significantly improve sexual and urinary health. It's a holistic approach that combines physical and mental well-being. At the end of the session, we distributed a guide with simple mindfulness practices that could be done at home. Consistency is more important than duration, we emphasized. Even a few minutes daily can bring significant benefits. The participants left the session with a new perspective on the connection between mind and body. I never imagined that something seemingly so simple could have such a profound impact, commented a lady as she put away her notes. After several weeks of meetings and workshops, it was time to focus on the practical implementation of everything we had discussed. I organized a special follow-up session with the participants, turning my office into a group discussion space where we could address specific questions about how to incorporate the changes into daily life. Knowledge only becomes truly useful when we can apply it to our routine, I began, observing the familiar faces that had attended the previous sessions. Today, we'll discuss practical strategies to implement all the concepts we've learned. Margaret, the patient who started this entire journey, was present and shared her experience. At first, it was hard to overcome the embarrassment, but by following the doctor's guidance and practicing mindfulness exercises, I noticed a significant change in my quality of life. I used her testimony to introduce an important aspect: creating a routine. Consistency is key to reaping the benefits of the practices we've learned, I explained. This includes physical exercises, healthy eating, and self-stimulation practices. One of the participants raised an important question about privacy. I live with my daughter and grandchildren. How can I maintain my intimacy? This is a common concern among seniors living with family members. We discussed practical strategies to ensure moments of privacy while respecting the family dynamic. It is essential to establish healthy boundaries and communicate our needs clearly, I advised. Having personal space and time to take care of. Intimate health is a right for everyone, regardless of age or family situation. During the meeting, I presented a specially developed calendar to help organize activities. This planning includes spaces to mark exercise practice, moments of mindfulness, and recording the consumption of healthy foods, I explained, distributing copies to everyone. Notice that the calendar also has a space for notes about your overall well-being, I pointed out. It's important to observe how changes in routine affect your energy, mood, and health as a whole. One of the participants, who had initially been skeptical, shared his positive experience. I started including Kegel exercises in my morning routine, along with meditation. I noticed a significant improvement in urinary control and overall energy. I took the opportunity to emphasize the importance of persistence. Habit changes take time. The key is to maintain consistency and respect your own pace. It's not a competition, but a process of self-care. During the session, we also discussed how to adapt practices in different situations. If you travel frequently, for example, you can adapt the exercises and practices to be done in any environment, I suggested, offering practical tips to maintain the routine even when away from home. One participant asked about how to handle days when they don't feel like doing the activities. It's normal to have days like that, I replied. The important thing is not to blame yourself and to resume the practices as soon as possible. Flexibility is a key part of the process. I then introduced an important concept, the wellness journal. Keeping a simple record of how you feel after the practices can be very motivating, I explained. This helps identify patterns and notice improvements. Over time, I demonstrated how to make practical and objective notes. It doesn't need to be something complex. A few words about your mood, energy, and sleep quality are already enough to track your progress. One of the older participants shared how she had adapted the practices to her reality. I created a special corner in my room, with comfortable cushions, where I practice breathing exercises every morning. This has become a special moment of my day. At the end of the meeting, we did a practical planning exercise, where each participant set realistic goals for the following week. Remember, small achievable goals are more effective than sudden, big changes, I advised, helping each person adapt the practices to their specific reality. To mark the end of our journey of discoveries and learning, I organized a special celebration gathering. The event was not just a conclusion, but an opportunity to reinforce achievements and plan the next steps. The community center was decorated with flowers and informative posters, creating an environment that blended professionalism with warmth. When we began this journey, I started my opening speech. Many of you came here with doubts, fears, and even shame about discussing issues related to sexuality in later life. Today, I look at each of you and see more aware, informed, and, most importantly, at peace with your own bodies. The transformation was visible on the participants' faces. Margaret, who had started it all with her consultation a few months ago, was now leading a support group for other older women. The knowledge I gained here not only changed my life, but also allowed me to help others, she shared, visibly moved. During the event, we organized panels where participants could share their experiences and lessons learned. It's important to celebrate every small victory, I explained while reading some of the testimonials. Every step taken toward a healthier and more fulfilling life deserves recognition. One of the oldest participants, at 85 years old, shared how mindfulness practices had transformed her relationship with her own body. I learned that it's never too late to reconnect with yourself. Each day is a new opportunity for self-care and self-love. I took the moment to introduce an important topic, the continuity of care. What we've learned here shouldn't end today, I emphasized. Sexual health is an ongoing aspect of our lives, deserving constant attention and care. We then presented a comprehensive guide, the result of all the knowledge shared during our meetings. This material will be a valuable resource for you to continue your journey of self-discovery and health, I explained, handing out the printed copies. The guide included not only technical information but also spaces for personal notes and progress tracking. Each person has their own journey, I reminded them. This guide should be adapted to your individual needs and reality. During the celebration, we also discussed plans for the future. Several participants expressed interest in continuing to meet regularly to share experiences and support one another. Mutual support is crucial on this journey, I agreed, helping to organize a schedule for future meetings. Real change happens when we turn knowledge into daily practice, I observed, as participants exchanged experiences about how they had incorporated the practices into their routines. Each of you is living proof that it is possible to live a full and healthy life at any age. One of the participants shared how she had overcome the fear of discussing intimate issues with her family doctor. Now I know that taking care of sexual health is as important as any other aspect of health. There is no reason for shame. To conclude the meeting, we held a special group mindfulness session. Take this practice with you, I advised. It will be a valuable tool for staying connected to your body and its needs. The most touching moment was when a 75-year-old participant stood up to speak. Before these meetings, I thought my intimate life was over. Today, I know that every phase of life has its own discoveries and pleasures. We concluded the celebration with a collective commitment to continue practicing and sharing the knowledge gained. You are now ambassadors of a new vision on sexuality in later life, I concluded. Every open conversation, every broken taboo, is a step towards a healthier and more respectful society.